Pardon my, I am currently sick and not feeling the best, but I figured some fresh air would do me some good, and while I was working on a little bit for dinner later tonight, I figured why not go ahead and have a bit of a snack. And by doing such, I am doing a little bit of a test of this guy again. The Solo Stove. So today, I'm going to have some fun and cook up a little bit of Spam. Now, because I didn't bother to bring an actual kitchen knife out with me, I'm going to cut the Spam with this. Alright, so I didn't stop to think about how I might be able to set this up, so let's see. Oh yeah, that'll work. So, got my little skillet here. Set it right on top there, let it get heated up a bit. And this is what we're going to be throwing on top. And I didn't bring any napkins, so I'm just going to use my shirt in a very dignified way for everyone to enjoy. Can you already hear that sizzle? Now, I don't normally have fried Spam like this. To be perfectly honest, I actually haven't been much of a fan of Spam growing up. But you know what? I had some left over from when Dad made some, and it's been sitting in there a while, so I figured let's go ahead and get this out of the fridge. And that little piece of wood right there is what I've been setting my spatula on while I'm cooking. So I don't know if I actually mentioned this earlier, but right before I came out here to start cooking this, I was actually cooking some onions. Everything else was going to be done in a slow cooker, so I figured why not go ahead and have some fun and actually cook up the onions on my Solo Stove. Ouch. Come on, baby. There we go. I also have this little fork here to help me out with it. So to give you a brief rundown of what I've been doing, I got a box of wood for $3, as you saw the sign for, which is just standard pine wood. And after getting it split down to around this size, from here to here, I then proceeded to process it down even smaller so that they just fit perfectly right inside the stove. Ow! So now I've got a nice little pile of wood sitting right over here that are all about this size, so that I can very easily throw them in there. And for this Solo Stove, you're looking at around, 3-4 inches. 4 inches is probably the maximum size you want to be throwing in there. This is probably about the largest that I have out of that little pile, but it'll still fit in there really good. Now what's funny is this little skillet here is one that I've had for a while that I picked up specifically for camping reasons. If I remember correctly, it's just a cheapo T-foul, I believe, that I got for like, a few bucks. But I must say, this has honestly been one of the best little skillets I've ever used out in the woods. I've cooked quite a bit with it. I've cooked steak, I've cooked bacon, I've cooked trout. Cooked all kinds of stuff on it over open fires, no less. I've done some cooking, of course, with some regular old stoves, like micro stoves. I've used plenty of those in the past. But this is the first official outing actually testing my solo stove for any actual cooking. If that made any sense. Any actual cooking is what I meant to try and say, and it came out instead. But so far, I have to say, I am nothing but impressed with the solo stove. In the future, I am definitely planning on investing in the Solo Stove Titan pot, the 1800, I believe it is, which is, of course, an upgrade from the other one, which I believe is called the 900, and unless I'm mistaken, that is approximately how many milliliters that each pot can hold, and each pot correlates, of course, to one of the actual stoves the Solo Stove sells. Oh man, better than I thought it'd be. That is actually really tasty. Okay, so I see we have no one watching. Whatever, I don't care. I'm just having fun cooking. But yes, I am definitely not going to be upgrading it to a new pan anytime soon because this one is still working just peachy, wonderfully. I mean, handle's a little bit loose, but that's simple enough to tighten up with a screwdriver. Or I could even use the end of my knife, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then, obviously, for pots, you guys have seen in my past videos some of the different pot systems and cook systems that I have to go with this. The only reason I am thinking of investing in an actual solo stove pot is the fact that the pots are specifically designed for those exact stoves, and the pot or the stove itself actually fits in the pot. So that way, they take up a lot less room than having the stove, and then separately, having the pots and such, which is what I have right now. But for right now, one thing, seems like a lot of preppers out there really seem to consider is, okay, sure, maybe I have a bunch of food stored up that I can use for, it's good for like 5-10 years or something like that. If you're really lucky, maybe even 20 plus years. But then one thing that no one ever really seems to think about, especially some of the more city-dwelling kinds, is how am I going to cook all this food? Yeah, sure, it's pre-made, and technically I could go ahead and eat it cold if I wanted to, but who wants to be eating cold food all the time, And that's why I have spent a lot of my time learning how to make and maintain different kinds of cooking stoves. What? Different kinds of cooking stoves. I've made several different kinds of pop can alcohol stoves. I've made little gas fire stoves, kind of like the solo pot here. I've made hobo stoves out of giant coffee cans or really big soup cans. I just recently watched a video on how to make a soup can stove, which is actually a really neat design and super simple to make. Literally all you need is a soup can and one of those old church key type can openers. The pointy kind used for like condensed soup or sauce or things of that sort. Something you don't want to necessarily take the entire top of it off, but you just want to punch one of those little triangular holes in it. That's all it calls for. And you can make it within 5 minutes. So I may go ahead and try that later on. But one thing I did want to say is I recently got a comment from a new subscriber who enjoyed my Pero tasting video, which thank you very much. I am very glad that you enjoyed it. And he recommended I try a new kind, well, not a new kind, well, it'd be new for me, but a different kind of coffee substitute. Sadly, I can't remember the name right off the bat, but I've been looking online, and turns out you can order it on Amazon fairly quickly. So in direct response to you, fellow YouTuber subscriber, I will be ordering that as soon as possible, and I will be getting that put up into a tasting video to let you know what I think about it. And I do apologize for not remembering your name. I just thought of that right now as I'm cooking this. So please don't be mad at me for not remembering your name. I just thought of it right on the spot. So either way, this is just about done. Oh yeah, that is grilled, cooked to perfection. Now we can set that down. Get in there. So, there we have it. Fried ham. Holy crap, this thing is getting hot. Cooked on my Solo Stove Titan. Why is this so zoomed in? Oh, I didn't know you could zoom in with the front-facing camera. That's cool. Yep, here we go. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's good. That's good. Yummy. So I have had fried Spam in the past. It's just been a very long time since I have. But it's good. All I need now is a little bread or hardtack or something, and I'd be set. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Just so I'm not being overly rude here. Benjamin Garrett, that's the name. Just a moment here. Come on, you stinking thing. It says, thanks for the review. My GF just found out she has a heart murmur, and having caffeine could literally kill her. Let's see. Maybe you could try out Cafix. Okay, that's what it's called, Cafix. Or Cafix, I'm not sure how to pronounce that exactly. But either way, that is a different coffee substitute product that they would like me to review. And once I get it ordered, I will gladly upload a video and tell you what I think about that particular product. And if it compares to Pero, if it compares to... All right, so now that we got the name and everything out of the way for that, so I'm not being rude to my subscribers, this is Bowmaster619 out. I'm going to finish my little snack of fried Spam here. And I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, drive safe, stay safe, never stop learning,